Welcome back, everybody, to the MSS podcast for Episode 9. So, in the last podcast, we were kind of talking a little bit about what our plans are currently looking like,
Mm.
how we're kind of, in order to continue to pursue our dreams, in order to continue to stay in the game, we've had to kind of make some adjustments and detour a little bit. And, like we were talking about the idea of you can't control the whole universe. You can't control like every variable in the
No.
circumstances you face, but what you can control is your response and how you like adapt to that. So,
Yeah.
a big part of survival is the idea of evolution and adaptation. The fact that like you take what comes and you find your way to kind of deal with it the best as you can. So
Yeah. It's like when something's getting thrown at you, it's like you gotta find your own way to overcome it. Like we got
absolutely.
stuff thrown at us and we had to find our own ways to overcome it and go back to a job and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like we're still learning.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the
Like
whole point of this process. Like the idea, like the point of life isn't to make loads of money or
no.
to have a super successful job or any of these kind of things, but it's the idea that you're continually growing, you're continually learning, and like there are some harsh realities and some bitter pills you have to swallow, but like that's part of
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
That's the
As like
game,
as much as they suck, you're right.
Yeah, and like a part of the way you can like put yourself in a good position to actually deal with that is by not taking the easy way. And that's the idea of like the hard way versus the easy way. The idea of putting in the work, putting in the hours, making the difficult decisions versus taking shortcuts or taking the
Yeah.
easy way, because you're going to be in a position where you can't take a shortcut.
Yeah.
Where there's like where you're going to come through and over like
But like that shortcut isn't necessarily a good thing either.
yeah, absolutely.
Like it could like mess you up in the long term. Like
Absolutely.
later, but if 2 years down the line, it could
Yeah,
like come back in some way and be like, oh, but
absolutely.
you did this, and it's like, oh shit.
And like one way that I really kind of like one of the biggest things for me in my life that kind of just I use as like a mechanism to understand how to live my life is like my training, like in the workouts and the gym and that kind of stuff. Because for me, like I've always been that kind of person who is willing to like do like the hardest kind of workouts and put myself through like really
Yeah.
difficult. Like you've trained with me for years, like you know that like
no.
I'm the kind of person who doesn't take breaks. Like
No.
I don't care about
Well,
overtraining or
like
anything
five
like that.
second breaks.
Like like, and of course like each person's gonna need their own style, but for
Yeah.
me like I kind of wanted to run headfirst at those challenges, and I wasn't afraid to like go that kind of hard way. I wasn't afraid to put in that kind of work, and like something as like a guy, especially like whenever you're training, like one of the biggest kind of like things you're going to encounter on that journey is like steroids. Is the idea because that there's so many guys out there with like
Oh,
crazy physiques, and there's gonna be
yeah.
that urge inside of you that's gonna be like, oh man, I want what
I
they
want to be
have.
big like them.
Yeah, exactly. I want to feel that pride walking through. I
Yeah.
want like people to look at me. I want to get
Yeah.
girls' attentions and all that kind of stuff. But like, it's the idea of if you take someone like of course now for like the pro bodybuilders, whatever, like at a certain level of competition, you're taking steroids for like more than just that. But if you're talking about just casual training and like
Yeah.
the idea of going the hard way versus the easy way, for me, I was always like, as much as you'd love the kind of like the benefits of it, like I
Yeah.
never once even considered doing steroids. I never once even thought that would be like something I'd even like think about, because like I feel like you miss out on the point of building it brick by brick. That idea of like you can put someone who's like huge in front of me, but I know that I might not have a whole lot, but what I do have I earned
Yeah.
every single like through
It's like
every bit
if
of
it's
it.
given to you, like you don't know what to do with it in a sense.
You can't
But if you've
appreciate it as
earned it,
much.
like yeah,
If it took
exactly.
me like I might be like a quarter of your size, but it took
Yeah.
me 3 years to like build that up, and it
That's
took
true.
like the
Yeah.
amount of like parties that I
Like seeing
missed.
old photos of you and you were like
It's
super
crazy.
skinny. It's
It's
crazy. And
crazy.
like
I'll
how
put up
far
a
have you come
picture like
now?
on the screen of like what I looked like when I was like maybe 16 or
Oh my
17,
god,
like
it's
very skinny. And
crazy.
like that's the thing though, because like you can take that before and the after, and it's like what's more important than that before and after is how did you get that difference? Like where was the journey? What did
Yeah.
you learn? What did you go through? Because there were so many times that like we had to like sacrifice other things, like whether it was eating the foods that you wanted to eat,
Yeah.
or maybe like
Yeah.
sleep, or like whatever kind of stuff it was, going out to parties, drinking, whatever it was. But like when you put in that blood, sweat, and tears and go the hard way, you get like the real results. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like you also get that confidence and that like kind of like pride in yourself as well.
Mm.
And a lot of people like can ask the question of like, how do I build confidence? How do I like do that? And it's by continually overcoming difficult challenges and difficult obstacles.
Yeah.
Like confidence is like your no your readiness or your willingness to engage like hard obstacles or like whatever it is. And you get that from having done other ones. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm.
build that up and you kind of gain that confidence as it goes. But like if you have the results without having done the work to get those results, like you kind of miss the point. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
It's
that's
like it's like growing up rich. If you have like a wealthy family or whatever, like everything, if money's given to you.
yeah,
But like growing up poor, you gotta earn it. You gotta work
yeah.
for it.
Every
It's
cent
different.
matters.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
like if you see a euro on the ground, you don't
Yeah.
just like laugh it up. Like you're like, no, you
No.
understand
Yeah,
the value
yeah,
of every cent, and
yeah.
like you get that appreciation for it. And then the thing is then is that when you get that appreciation for it and you want to work hard for it and then you like get it in the end, you're not gonna just blow it and like waste
Exactly.
it
You
and
kind
just
of know like better like how to like
yeah,
deal with it and
you build a
manage it.
respect and
Yeah,
appreciation
exactly.
for it, and that's
Yeah.
like part of the biggest thing. And especially for us as well, like if you have any interest in mentorship or if you want to like carry that torch and then pass it on to somebody in the future, you can't afford to take easy ways and like shortcuts or whatever. Because if someone comes to you and they say, "Oh, I'm dealing with this. Like
Yeah.
it's so difficult. It's so tough. Like how do I get through it?" And you're gonna tell them like, "Oh, well, I took a shortcut. I cut corners. So I did it the easy way." And it's like, how are you gonna tell
Like you
somebody
don't
that?
gain value from that though. Like
Absolutely.
if I'm coming to you with a problem and like I've known like you've gone through your own stuff and like, I'm still learning from you in a sense. But like if I come to you with my problems, you know how to
At the very
like
least, I
to
can tell
handle
you I
it
know
and
how it
yeah,
feels. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like if you tell me
Like
like
I feel like I'm not alone in that way.
exactly
And
like
that's all
how
I want to feel,
you need that connection. People, you need to be able to say like I've been where you've been. I
Mm,
know it's hard, and I know like that there's a hard way to get through it.
yeah.
But it's like you don't take the easy way because then when someone comes to you later in the future, like you're playing something for like bigger than yourself. Like it's not just all about you. Like you have to understand that you're fighting for something more than yourself. Like think about it down the line. Like when your kids come to you at
Mm,
some stage and they're like, oh, like I feel this way or I feel like
yeah,
super.
yeah,
Like let's say for example they come to you and they're like, oh, dad, like I'm really uncomfortable with my body. Like I want to be bigger in the gym. Oh, I want to be like stronger. I want to get girls' attention, whatever. What am I going to tell them? Like, get your ass in the gym, eat this amount of food, sleep, do this. Or am I going to tell them, oh, take steroids or oh, take this cheat?
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it's the idea of like when the people who come to you looking for advice, when they see what you have, like what are you going to tell them?
yeah.
Like what advice are you going to have for
You
them?
got
How
to
are you
give
going
them
to tell
something
it?
of value.
Yeah,
Because like no one's
absolutely,
going to respect you at the end of the day if you cut those
absolutely,
corners and you went the easy way. It's like
absolutely.
everything's earned through the hard way.
And that's kind of like the whole point of this podcast too, is that like we're going the hard way, guys. Like we're not taking shortcuts, we're not taking the easy way. Like we're not gonna sit here and lie to you about what we're doing in the day to day and what it looks like. Like it's really tough. Like the idea of having quit our jobs, like a few weeks back, wanting to pursue that particular lifestyle, and then
Yeah,
coming to a realization that it's like, okay, in order to stay in the game, we have to like make this adjustment or make that evolution in our own particular like
yeah,
mindset. Like it's not an easy thing to do. So when someone comes to me someday in the future and says like, oh, I have this ambition, I have this goal, like what do I do? The advice I'm going to give them is like, you're gonna have that goal and you're gonna do whatever it takes to
yeah.
get there. And whatever it takes might be doing the one thing you don't want to do, going back to that 9 to 5 or whatever. Like you
That's
know
what
what I
we
mean?
had to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be the way you want it to be, but like you're going to learn through that process. And when you like taking up those harsh realities, you're going to have to
Mm,
cop on to say, all right, you know what? I have to start upping my game or I got to start working harder or like
mm,
I'm obviously lacking in this area or this area and I got to start making like the gains in this. But such a big thing for me is mentorship. Like number one, having mentors. Number two, like creating like, disciples almost in that kind of sense where you're passing that on. Like it's so important though. Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's like almost like creating a legacy for yourself. Like it's all well and good. Like I've had great mentors, you know what I mean?
Mm,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
been great. And it's like it's so much fun to be able to say like I'm adapting their processes or I'm like learning from them.
yeah,
But if I'm not passing it on to anybody else,
yeah.
like where's the value in it? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
true.
That's why I think
Well,
what
the torch stops at you, is it?
yeah, like yeah, exactly. How like disappointing would that be for
Yeah,
someone to pass you the torch and then you let it go out on your watch? And if you take shortcuts and if you go the easy way, it will go out on your watch because you're not going to be able to pass it on to somebody else. And that's the whole point.
you
You
owe it
have
to them. Like your mentors
oh,
too. Like keep
hundreds
going.
to 10%.
Yeah,
Like they're gonna teach you the like, okay, go the hard way, do this, and then you get those real results, and you'll get the actual work that comes with it. And then you're gonna say to the next guy to come on, you're gonna be like, oh no, it's gonna be all easy. Like here, take this shortcut, take this easy
it's
way
such a
out.
huge pill to swallow as well. When you know, like you're not like there is no easy way.
Uh,
Like for our lives,
and
there
like
is no easy
this is
way.
the thing as well is that going the hard way doesn't mean that you're not gonna like see the easy way and be like, we'll be nice, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's the thing, like even if you want to go back to the working out analogy, you're gonna see people with bigger physiques. You're gonna see people like if you take that out, you're gonna see people with great like better
Yeah,
lifestyles. You're gonna see like people are doing like they're ahead or like they're living the life that you want, or like you're comparing yourself, which is why you can't compare yourself to anybody else because you don't know where they started at, you don't know what work they put in, you don't know
yeah,
where it's leading either because you might like be in a situation where you don't want to be in their shoes like
yeah,
5 years down the line,
yeah.
where you don't want to like have that. That's why you like when you go the hard way and you do the work, you get the results that you've earned. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And you're actually happy with those results as well. Like it's not like like for myself, right? Like I have a decent physique, right? Nothing special, but I know that I earned it. I know that like
Yeah,
every bit of work that I've put in has been like from me, and then you feel like a personal attachment to it. Like you have your own unique style. You
yeah.
have like I know that like I can do heavier weights than I look. I know I can do like this particular amount of endurance. Like even today, like
Oh
doing
my
the
God, yeah,
70 for
70 for
like 15
15.
reps. Like I plan to do 8 or 7 in that set, and then you blow it when you're like, nah, I have to go harder. I have to push
And
myself.
you've been doing like stay stuck on 60 for like
Yeah,
a little bit,
yeah,
and then you
absolutely.
push past it and
I
70 for
think
15. Like, come
yeah,
on.
like it's actually an interesting observation I'll share with you guys. It's something I kind of learned about myself is that like I felt like I had this strength to like go the hard way, but at a certain point, you can become really like bitter and you can become really like angry that you have to go the hard way, and it can be like a really difficult thing to be like, oh, why does everybody else get the easy way? Why does it always have
Yeah,
to be the hard way for
yeah,
me? And then like you'll find that you won't even want to use the strength that you have. Like you'll find yourself limiting yourself, being like, nah, Like I don't even want to be this person anymore. I don't want to have this strength. I don't want to have like this ability. I'd rather just have the easy soft way and make life more simple and like whatever. But
Mm.
the reality is that with great strength comes great responsibility. If you can go the hard way, man,
Peter Parker represent.
Uncle Ben right there, like you know what I mean? Like that's what it is. And even if you look at Spider-Man, his whole life, like he was failing in school. He's a let go of Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Nobody even knew he was doing all this stuff. And like the point of like strength and all this isn't to get everybody's attention. It isn't to get like, you know, all those accolades and all the like the fame and like all the money and all this stuff. It's about doing what you know you need to do. It's about going the hard way and about to say like I was given this amount of strength. I have to like show results for it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for
Like
the
you
greater good of yourself. Like
absolutely
you
like,
owe
you
it to
know,
yourself to like do better.
if you have strength because God invested that strength in you and you got to pay it back dividends. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, look, I want you to like bear fruit and multiply. It says that in the Bible. I want you to actually use that strength. I want you to bring it back. And so, oh, I didn't just sit it, I didn't sit
Yeah.
on it, I didn't bury it in the ground, keep it safe for you. No, I used it, I multiplied it, and I brought it back something, you know what I mean? And that's what the reward is for it as well. But a huge thing is that like at some stage, if you get those results, whether you get it the easy way or the hard way, someone is going to come and ask you how you did it. Someone's going to come and say, oh man, I want to be like you. What do I do?
Mm.
How do I get that? And you have to understand you're gonna have to like be accountable to that person and tell them like this is how I did it. Which is why so many people like, you know, some of those like big guys, let's say they take steroids and then they put out a workout program and then all these people are buying their workout program and have no hope of ever looking like them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Which is why like at some stage I'd like to put out a program and like put out like not just the workouts but also the kind of physical kind of the mental training you have to do,
Yeah.
like the kind of like principles that I adhere to and stuff. I'll actually talk about those in the next video, some of the stuff that I, you know, I feel it was like really good principles helping me in different stuff. But you want people to be able to say they can like achieve what you have. You want people to think to like they can get that and that they can actually like work towards that, as opposed to saying, look, I'm just going to scam you into thinking that I did this and I did that and I got nothing back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, guys, if you really want to like get results for yourself, if you really want to actually have something to show for it, go the hard way. Don't take shortcuts.
No.
Don't go the easy way. Be able to like hold yourself accountable to say it's for more than just me. It's for the kids that are going to come to me in the future. It's for the young guys who want to know, how do you get that physique, or how do I get up mentally, how do I do all these kind of things. And if you did it the easy way, you have nothing to share for them, you know. So if you want to be a strong mentor, someone to like be able to say they were proud about their life and like they can look back and see that, go the hard way. You get the results.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
get the results. But yeah, we'll talk kind of more about this in the next episode. And we'd love to hear what you guys think about it too, and like share some of your stories and some of the things that you guys have learned. If we see some like really cool like ideas or like stories people have shared, we'd love to highlight those as well, because like, you know, everybody has their own unique story. So like
Of course.
these guys, as always, continue to engage with us in the comments, and we'll see you in the next episode.